It's Kebnise.
Kaise.
Kebnise.
So, track 1. Was it the first interlude that we wrote?
I don't know. No idea.
I think it was.
We never intended to start the album off, but it kind of works. That were our attempt at a pop song, I suppose, and that's probably the closest we'll ever get, I reckon.
Because I think everyone knows that we're progressive and the songs chop and change a lot, so it was trying not to do that and see where we could get to with it, try and make something that could be put on a shuffle on an iPod and wouldn't sound so mental in between, like a load of other bands. It's nice to ease it in a bit with a more poppy song and then work up to the more complicated stuff as the album progresses. Cycle that never breaks. Shaky Egg at the start of it.
My favourite intro to a song now.
Well, his was his first ever single. We recorded that on a session of 4 tracks that we did in February last year, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was last year. Kind of got a chorus. Well, it has.
Yeah. Sing along bit.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it does.
And also, I get a little drum solo in it.
Yeah, you do.
In the middle.
You drum fill in the middle of the song.
Do it.
Just do it and they can cut it in.
Oh, I don't know how to do it on. No, I can't do it. I can't.
You did it a minute ago.
It's too weird.
Why?
Why don't you do the riff? I did it wrong. I think you played it wrong.
It was perfect before.
I know, because I forgot I was being filmed, but I remember now. Like that.
That was alright.
Literally, that's the only thing we've ever written has been finished in a night, I think. I don't think we've ever done that before.
But it literally was written to link his and Suspects.
I have some doubts around. It took us ages to write.
Yeah.
This song took us ages to write, I should say.
Loads of different versions of this song exist somewhere, don't they?
Yeah.
I can't help suspecting you. This document.
2 verses, kind of like this.
Yeah, there's like a verse, chorus, and then it just goes off.
Yeah, it just goes off on one. It's just a sequence of different sections that just build together.
I had no hands on the wheel. It's a miracle.
It's again with the songs, we try and focus on the balance of different sections. It's not just a case of making things fit together. It's the weight of every riff or section in it that's important to us. Everything has the right amount of impact. That's the best way I could describe it.
But it was actually recording our first EP, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As 655-3-2-1. The second half of the song is pretty much exactly.
But the first half was rewritten.
The first, yeah.
I think what we did when we wrote the first half was try and bring it up to speed with the rest of the album.
Yeah, try and get it sounding a little more like the rest of the songs, because we liked the song, but the parts in it that just didn't really fit with what we started, with where the sound was going.
It did sound like an old us. The thing I really like about that track is the outro to it. It's kind of like an unintentional break in the album, because it doesn't change too much, and it kind of just flows for quite a while by itself, and I think it really helps to pace the album rather than rushing through it all.
I concur.
starts with the most energy out of any track we've got.
You start the song, don't you?
Yeah, I start the song with a drum roll straight into
Drum
it.
roll.
Which I don't really like doing normally.
Oh yeah, but you like that one.
But I like that one, yeah. It does seem to work with this song.
It's one of my favourite songs on the album, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The outro is interesting on it as well. It was when it was initially written, it had no end to it. We just decided we were just gonna do just a sequence of stabs for sort of like a non without a set time limit to it. Just gonna keep going until we looked at each other and stopped. Just be going ba 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 for ages.
James kind of makes it sound like it kind of sounds like the CD's skipping or something at the end, but it blends into the next song.
I think Maps and Atlases have been quite a big influence on us. Not directly, but
I suppose there's some tapping in it.
Yeah.
Some that's for my first bit of. That's the first time I tried bringing in a bit of tapping, and it took us ages to get the sound right on that. Actually, if I remember, I had to use a compressor and change the channel on the amp to a completely different one that I'd usually use, just to get it as clear as it is on the recording.
But we did initially try to do it to a click track, but it just didn't work for us, did it? I think as songs sometimes
they do naturally speed up and slow down.
Yeah.
And if you got a click there, it just makes that impossible. So
it just doesn't sound natural. But what I really like about that song, it's got a really powerful outro from that middle section. It's just really straight, and it's got just a really solid disco beat on it, and I love that.
Strong. Yeah, and it leads into Afraid of the Dark really nice. Oh, I had a mess about with a Digitech whammy in this one because I bought it just for recording. I thought I want to bang it in there somewhere, and I didn't even have a practice with it. I just thought we'll try on a few sections. In the middle of this song, it works really well. So there's a couple of sections where I use that.
It's the hardest song for me to play because the middle section is just so fast. My technique isn't perfect because I'm kind of self-taught, with me drumming. So anything fast, you see people on playing these gigs on TV and they're with one hand, but I'm
It's actually a bit funky, which is weird. But
yeah, I don't like to use the word funky, but I think
I don't. But
I think we do have funky sections.
No, we have that one funky section. Funky, it's a horrible word, isn't it? But we do in that song.
Yeah, it's got a really sort of chilled out outro to it.
Yeah, a bit of acoustic. In fact, all that is underneath that. There's the acoustic that kind of brings out the rhythm.
Yeah.
Because the guitar's distorted, you can't really make out the notes as clearly as I'd have liked. So put an acoustic guitar underneath it, and then, like you say, use it at the end as well. And
yeah. We did try writing it a bit longer, I think. I think we tried adding drum parts to it and stuff, but it just seemed to take it away from the atmospheric feel that it had.
One day I got to practice early one night, and that that bit just came, and as soon as we had that bit written into it, it just kind of all just flowed after that. And
yeah,
it's funny that the whole album kind of goes in chronological order, but not really on purpose.
No.
But it does, doesn't it?
No. Well, I think there's a reason for that though as well, and I think the newer stuff that we're writing is more complicated and more intense, and the album has that same progression.
The new songs that we're writing now are a lot heavier, and that's kind of the start of our progression into that sound, I suppose.
It's quite nice in a way because at the end of the song, it really kicks off. That is almost like a taster of the next step of
all
of
the new
band.
songs. There's a lot more screaming, and it's just completely different to what we have written, I suppose. So